Yo, what's good YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. This is What If Bell Had Yami Sukehiro's Powers, Part 8. So yes, I know it's been a while since I've done this series. Well, more like 4 days, but I'm now back. So here it is, here's the part. I apologize. Plus, guys, I finally created some sort of like a day where I go ahead and make my videos. So if y'all didn't know, I'll be making these videos hella late at night. So if y'all like see me sometimes lack the enthusiasm and everything, which by the way, before y'all like, why do you upload it so late? It's because like, bro, in the daytime, like, bro, I have so many things to do. I have no time to make videos. So I'm sorry, but like, yeah, if you guys ever hear my videos and you guys can tell like, yo, my videos sound like hella like, a little bit loss of energy, I'm sorry, but that's because I can't go around screaming super late at night. So I'm very sorry about that, but hey, you know what? It's you gotta do what you gotta do, my guy. But still, don't expect anything less from my stories, because I'll always be coming out with the bangers. But anyway, enough talk. Let's go ahead and get started with the video. So let's go.
She gripping that dick like she was a lost star. She party at night like she was a rock star. She singing my song like Bella-dee-da. She calling me daddy, but not her father. Little bit limit that she like big as some water. Could give you the world with the wave of a wand. We Philly, our bitch Cosmo and Wanda.
Alright, my guys, let's go ahead and now get started with this what if, as it's finally time for the games. And now at this, everything's now on the table. If Apollo wins, he gains Belle Cornell. However, if, of course, if Hestia wins, well, her reward is undecided yet, but who knows. As we now go ahead and cut to the arena. It was finally time for the matches. Everyone was right now there. As currently everything was like this was being broadcasted throughout like all the towns. All the like familias are seeing this right now, as this was gonna be a pretty spectacular match. Although most of them had their bets that Apollo was gonna win. Now that was mostly due to the fact that Apollo had a much greater number of familias. Plus, even though yes, Hestia has like this one guy that's like really good and everything, it still didn't matter to the fact like Apollo's numbers surely outnumbered the guy. So it doesn't matter how good he is, there's no way he can defeat an entire Familia. So with that, we go ahead and now cut to the arena. At this, everyone was now just watching it, as all of them were right now like guarding their like base and everything, as they were right now waiting for Belle to show up. So at this, the other Familia members were just there watching this, until suddenly they'll then go ahead and shout, "Look, over there!" At this, they'll go ahead and then turn as they see this man, or this individual walking, as he was covered in a cloak. As suddenly, this is when a breeze would then pass by, pushing the hood down, as this is when all of them would then look on in shock. As right now, standing right in front of the base of the Apollo Familia right now, during the games, is none other than Belle Cornell. As all of them were like in shock. This man was walking straight up to the base of the Apollo Familia, like just straight up. No like sneaking in or anything, like he was just walking towards it. As everyone was thinking like, is Belle stupid right now? As right now in the viewing platform, Hestia is just going ahead and thinking like, Belle, you idiot! As she couldn't believe that Belle would actually do something like this. At this, Apollo was just having a smirk on his face, just thinking like he's about to win right now. It's so simple. Belle was nothing compared to his Familia, right? As this is when all the other members in the Apollo Familia begin to laugh at Belle, thinking he was an idiot. As Belle just continues walking towards it. Oh man, this guy's an idiot. How about we go ahead and let one of the mages take him out? At this, they'll all go ahead and agree, as they tell a mage to fire an attack at Belle, which the mage would do so, as he goes ahead and shoots a fireball at Belle, which was actually pretty ginormous. At this, Belle continues walking nonchalantly towards it. However, none of them were paying close attention to Belle. Belle's eyes were a lifeless red. As right now, Belle was currently in full-on battle mode. Like, there was no hint of remorse, anything. He was ready to discipline all of them. As right now, Belle was walking up to them. This is when they'll go ahead and actually tell one of the mages to shoot Belle, which they will do so, as the mage would then shoot a ginormous fireball at Belle. Now at this, Belle will go ahead and see the ginormous fireball heading at him, as everyone was thinking like, this is over instantly. However, this one suddenly, in a very flick motion, Belle will go ahead and actually destroy the fireball in an instant, actually cutting through it, shocking everyone. What? Shouted one of them, as Apollo right now watching this will also be in shock. He cut through the fireball. As Hestia, who's watching all of this, will then go ahead and turn from a shock expression to a smirk. I should have believed in him. As even though she did, like, at the same time, like, come on now. as she goes ahead and looks at Belle in anticipation, as she knows that Belle's about to riot. As we go ahead and now cut back to the battle, Belle was right now walking towards him with, again, the lifeless eyes. As he goes ahead and looks up, "You're dead," he would say. At this, the men were now actually like scared, as this is when Belle would then coat his blade in darkness, as he'll go ahead and use a lifeless slash, actually sending a ginormous one, getting sent towards the others. As this is when the others would go ahead and gasp, but they go ahead and get slammed by this attack, getting sent flying, of course, and crashing into the building. "Damn you," said one of them as he goes ahead and falls into unconsciousness. At this, the others in the group who are actually like, waiting for Belle were now just like looking at all this in surprise as they go ahead and, grit their teeth. "Whatever, he still has nothing to us." At this is when Belle finally is now in front of the base. No one is like right now stopping him except for this ginormous wall. At this, Belle goes ahead and sighs. He's like, "I don't intend on holding back." At this, he goes ahead and actually does the move, as he then says, "Dark Cloak, Alvita Wild Slash." At this is when suddenly multiple dark slashes would then go ahead and appear on the wall, cutting right through it. As this would cause all the members of the Familia to actually gasp on in shock, as pretty much the very front door of this entire base was destroyed. At this caused all the other Familia members to go ahead and charge at Belle with a battle cry, as they were now ready to take on Belle Prunell. At this, Belle was now looking at all of them, as if you guys want to have like an idea about what's going on, consider this a very lowered down version of Madara versus the entire Elemental Nations, like just that. As Belle was beginning to go through all of them, he would avoid attacks, slashing through them with his katana, as he goes ahead and begins to blitz through all of them. Now at this, all the members of the Apollo Familia were in shock, as well as everyone watching this, as they couldn't believe their eyes. Hestia was just smirking and laughing out loud, giving a loud chuckle as she goes ahead and looks at, Apollo, as she can't help but laugh at the face of complete shock and also a very grimace expression on his face. As Apollo right now, he was seething in surprise, as he couldn't believe, he knew Belle was powerful and everything, but this powerful, he wasn't expecting it. But he still had faith. There was no way that his entire Familia can lose to one man, right? Right? As for the other Familias who were watching this, they were also surprised with Belle. One of them had a reaction very unsettling, as this one actually had white hair similar to Belle, as she goes ahead and licks her lips. I can't wait to have you." Yeah, I'm sorry, I cannot even say that, bro. I'm sorry, but even saying that, like, bro, it already gave me Orochimaru vibes. But let me continue on. At this, also in the Loki Familia, we would also see, Eyes, who was also watching the battle. She also had a smile on her face. Wow, I said also a lot during that whole thing. Sorry. So after all that, after we got done with all the reactions, let's go ahead and cut back to the battle. As Belle was right now going through them, as the miniature guy, the small little kid who actually, aggravated Belle in the very beginning, gets actually scared. He then says, "You idiot! Make him stay away from me," he says, as he goes ahead and runs away. At this, the other members were looking at him like, "Are you serious?" Consider the fact that the man just ran out on them. But this when suddenly both of them would then be struck by a lifeless slash, getting slammed into a wall, as Belle was not holding back on the attacks, just making them, like, he's not holding back on them, he's just making it to the point where they're non-lethal. But just because they're non-lethal doesn't mean they're not going to do any damage. So at this, Belle is like knocking them out unconscious, as this when suddenly one of the members would go ahead and shout like, "You monster, that's it, I had enough," as they all go ahead and actually do a sort of dog pile, jumping right on top of Belle, ready to like sort of squish him to death. But this is when Belle goes ahead and looks at them, and she then says, "Not even close," as he goes ahead and actually vanishes right before their eyes, as he was still glowing into the mana skin, of course, as he then appears behind them. "Take this, Dark Cloak, Black Blade," as he goes ahead and actually uses the darkness to extend his katana, slicing through them, slamming them into the ground. At this, Belle will go ahead and actually stand on top of the pile of bodies that he literally went ahead and slammed down into the ground, as every last one of them was unconscious. As this when suddenly all the mages that were surrounding Belle will go ahead and attack him with powerful spells, planning to like just stop him at any cost. As seeing all these spells aimed at him, Belle does the one logical thing. At this, he goes ahead and actually says the spell, saying black cocoon, he would say. As this when suddenly he will then be enveloped in this black sphere, as the attacks will hit Belle straight on. Now at this, Apollo seeing all this would then smile, thinking, "Yes, I won! I won!" However, this is when it seems like fate had a different plan for him. As soon as the smoke is cleared, Bell would then be inside this black sphere or whatever it was, as right now it was protecting him from the attacks. But our attack should have defeated him. It should have. This can't be even possible. At this, Bell goes ahead and dissipates the black sphere as he goes ahead and looks at them with the grimoire floating in front of him. As he then says, "You underestimate what's impossible." At this, he goes ahead and actually turns to all of them. He then says, "Well, see ya." As he goes ahead and jumps up into the air, using Mana Skin to of course give him an extra boost. At this, the other members were confused, like why did Bell go ahead and just leave them? This one suddenly each one of them will be knocked out unconscious, as in a very split second, Bell had appeared behind every last one of the members and hit them with the blunt of the katana, knocking them out dead on. As this causes Bell to actually continue on with his quest. As right now, at the very top of the tower, we would see like the strongest members, of course, especially that level 3 that Bell went ahead and beat up. As he was right now like gritting his teeth, as one of the guys would go ahead and enter. "Sir, that man, he took down so many members," and this is when the man goes ahead and glares at him. "Shut up! Just deal with him already," as he can't help but get angry right now. I can't believe these useless idiots. They can't do anything right. As he goes ahead and looks out in the window, just waiting for this so-called Bell Cornell to go ahead and enter in here, so that way he can put him in his place. Last time Bell caught him off guard, supposedly, but everyone knows, like, come on, all of us know what really happened, bro. Like, you can't deny that you got your ass kicked. So we now go ahead and cut back to Bell, who's right now running through the kingdom right now, like running through the base, as all the members try to stop him, but Bell would just go ahead and defeat them pretty easily. At this when suddenly Bell would then be surrounded by all around, as this was by level 2s actually. As this, they go ahead and smirk. "You're pretty strong for a level 3, I give you that, but don't even count us out yet. Plus, a bunch of level 2s should easily overpower a level 3, he would say. At this, Bell just looks at him and shrugs. Yeah, whatever. As he completely ignores him, this causes all the members to get mad as they go ahead and say, "Damn you!" As he goes ahead and jumps up into the air, as they all begin to rush at Bell with their attacks, ready to like cut him up and just beat the crap out of him. Now, Bell will go ahead and see these attacks. He goes ahead and once again covers his sword in dark mana, using his, like dark cloak, of course. As he begins to actually like dodge all their attacks, he has to admit, the level 2s were way faster than the ones that he was fighting outside. But then again, Bell has fought way stronger monsters and definitely way stronger opponents. As Bell dodges all the attacks, he will go ahead and actually begin to go through them again. As he uses the dark lifeless slash, to cut them up a little bit, not too much to where they're dead, but like give them a scar or two. It's nothing that you can't go ahead and like fix. So seeing some of their members get injured again, this causes, of course, the other remaining level 2s to get angry. They then says, "Damn you!" As they go ahead and shoot Bell with spells, hoping that they would actually get actually injure Bell or at least stop him now. But this is when Bell goes ahead and looks at him, and he actually does something unintentionally. Bell will go ahead and actually feel feel something going up. He's like, "What is this?" As little did Bell know that he just went into Mana Zone. As Bell goes ahead and looks at them, he goes ahead and actually uses a lifeless slash, as he's able to actually cut precisely right through the wind attacks. As it also made the slash actually go through the man, not killing him, but giving him a pretty nasty slash on the shoulder. Now the man would actually pass out due to said injury, but he will be okay. As Bell would actually, see the man okay, he just shrugs, saying, that man was actually pretty disappointing in the fight. As he goes ahead and continues on. Now at this, little did Bell know, at this moment his grimoire was flipping through pages instantly, as Bell was slowly but surely getting stronger while fighting. As he actually was beginning to pick up on things and everything, refining his techniques and everything. So yeah, Bell is getting stronger while fighting. So yeah. Now we go ahead and cut back to the viewing platform, as Hestia was right now smiling and already thinking of a celebration. As right now Bell seems completely okay. There's not even a scratch on this man. As Bell was like, pretty much winning the whole entire thing by himself, Hestia was also like rubbing it in Apollo's face, thinking how like, oh, Bell is better and everything, while Apollo was now getting angry. Damn it! Can't they do anything right? I need him on my Familia, he would say, as he was now getting really upset with Bell, and more upset with his Familia, that they're not giving him what he wanted. So at this, we go ahead and actually now cut back to Bell, who currently right now is just wandering all over the the palace and everything. However, he was not finding anything. What is going on? Said Bell. As for some reason, he gets like this ominous feeling in his gut, but he can't tell why. As unbeknownst to Bell, currently right now, all the members of the Apollo Familia, actually some of the ones that are still fighting at least, had snuck out of the base as they had finally set their trap in place. Alright, on my signal, said the level 3 member of the Apollo Familia. At this, the other members would nod, as this was a trap designed to actually make sure that Bell is defeated. Now you see, Bell, everyone has now noticed by now that Bell is a lot stronger than the regular level 3. I mean, come on now. His strength is on some levels that some people don't even understand. So, of course, they're going to have to keep their guard up on him. But this is when actually one of the members actually went ahead and devised a plan, as pretty much all they did was turn that whole base of theirs into a trap. A trap where Bell's going to be defeated and his whole win streak was going down. As this is when all the members would then smirk, as finally the call was then heard, as finally they lit up the traps and activated them. Now we go ahead and cut back to the base. Bell is now looking around the kingdom until finally he will then hear explosion. He's like, what? At this, he goes ahead and looks up, only to see that the base's wall is collapsing on him. As he goes and says, son of a... At this is when suddenly Bell goes ahead and gets slammed into the ground by it. As apparently, well, at least that's what they think. As Bell goes ahead and gets destroyed and mounted on top of multiple amounts of rubble. As all the members of the family begin to cheer, as Apollo goes ahead and actually jumps up in happiness. Yes, he says, as he goes ahead and looks at it. At this, Hestia is now like, quiet. As she's right now thinking like, no, it can't be. It can't be. Now, Bell, we go ahead and now cut back to Bell. How could this happen? I was so sure that they improved, thought Bell. As right now, under the rubble, Bell would have a black cocoon, as he had protected himself from the damage. Jeez, and I thought these guys would actually push past their limits and actually surpass what they could do. Although I have to admit, it's clever, still it isn't enough, said Bell. As he goes ahead and actually uses a wild slash, destroying the pretty much the prison he sort of got in, or the trap that was made for him. As he goes ahead and jumps out, shocking the members of the Familia. How? Shouted one of them, as they thought for sure under all that rubble, Bell should have been defeated. At this, Bell then turns to them. You put up a good... I gotta admit, you put up a good fight, but to be honest, you're surely disappointing. I'm sorry to say this, but you're in for a rude awakening, said Bell, as he had a smirk on his face. At this, the other members of the Familia are just like, is he even human? As they all were now like afraid of Bell. Like literally, this man survived a trap that not even a regular level 3 would survive. As Bell goes ahead and turns to him, he's like, I recommend that you start running. At this, some of them wonder what he meant, but this is when Bell goes ahead and actually begins to pour in a lot of mana. As he goes ahead and takes in a deep breath, he goes ahead and shouts, Dark Cloak. As this is when his blade would then be enveloped in the Dark Cloak, of course. As he then says, Dark Cloak, Dimension Slash. As Bell goes ahead and shoots the Dimension Slash, shocking all of them, while Hestia is just right now like, Bell, you idiot. As, like, they couldn't believe it right now. Now, the reason why Hestia is calling Bell an idiot is because Bell just unleashed the attack that pretty much is going to make him a problem in the freaking thing. And especially since remember this, all goddesses and gods are watching this. As right now we go ahead and cut back to Bell. Bell had unleashed his most powerful attack currently. As all the members of the Familia run, as like they couldn't believe it. They're like, what? As luckily, all of them, like at least like all of them are able to not all of them, like most of them are able to dodge. However, some of them weren't as fortunate, as Bell would have gone ahead and cut right through them, not killing them. Considering the fact that Bell really wanted to, though. Like, if he really wanted to go all out, like a full all-out dimension slash, he could have ended them right there. As this attack was mostly used to shorten up their numbers by a large margin. As so far, multiple, like not that many, but still at the same time. So I would say like a medium amount of the members of the Apollo Familia got hit by this slash, as each one of them would have been knocked out unconscious. As they went ahead, and each one of them had like this gash on the side of their shoulders. Some of them had it like near their arms and everything. As like Bell did a lot of damage right now. So with that, everyone was just looking at this in shock, while Apollo was just looking at Hestia like, what the hell was that? This Hestia was now sweating bullets, while in a different location, we see Hermes who's just like looking down like, oh kid, you fucking idiot. But then again, he looks up, he's like, well, it's not as if she could have had it forever. Now, we go ahead and cut back to the battle, as pretty much Bell is unaware of like all this like shock and everything, because in effect he's mostly focused on the battle. At this, he goes ahead and begins to walk over to them, as everyone is still like down on the ground. As this is when the rest of the Familia members are like, we can't do anything. He's a monster, said one of them, as he couldn't believe what type of creature is Bell right now. As Bell continues walking towards them, this is when suddenly the level 3 would then shout, no, don't you dare give up. As he goes ahead and turns to Bell. It won't end like last time, he would say. At this, Bell goes ahead and looks at him and shrugs. You still want to go ahead and continue? Asked Bell. At this, the man goes ahead and scoffs. He's like, you bet. Now at this, Bell can only do one thing, but look at him with pity. As right now, Bell, like, the obsession to win and everything, like, it's understandable, but at the same time, like, was that obsession worthy enough? Like, if Bell was a regular person, like, if he was, like, an enemy, he could have killed him right now. And the man went ahead and saw Bell's most dangerous attack and still thought he could win. So Bell went ahead and actually felt pity for the man. As the man rushes at Bell, ready to defeat him, Bell will go ahead and actually put his katana back into his sheath. Don't worry, I don't even need my katana. I'll go ahead and fight you, alright? At this, the man goes ahead and smirks as he goes ahead and rushes at Bell, doing some quick jabs, of course, trying to hit Bell, of course. But you gotta realize one thing, Bell's not only good with the katana, but he's good with the hands, okay? As he's able to dodge all this, as he actually punches the man in the face, sending him, pushing him back a couple of feet, as you then knee him in the gut. What the? As this, he goes ahead and rolls over like 3 times, as he goes ahead and gets up, only to go ahead and be kneed on the forehead, causing him to go ahead and be, once again, sent flying, of course. At this, the rest of the members were surprised about like just how brutal it was, as they all thought that Bell was actually like really strong, all because he knew how to wield a katana. But now they know he could actually throw down with the hands. Now, of course, that would arise suspicion and also a bit of fear. As Bell begins to fight the man just barehanded, as the man goes ahead and like grits his teeth. At this, he begins to remember all his memories. As right now, we go ahead and pretty much see that the man was like always prideful of his abilities. He had worked hard for them, harder than anyone else in his familia, and he was always happy with it. But now, here comes this nobody named Bell, who went ahead and defeating him mercilessly, as if he was nothing. Now, that pissed him off. He says, I'll kill you! As he goes ahead and rushes at Bell with an attack, ready to literally kill Bell, actually. As Bell goes ahead and looks at him, he goes ahead and sighs. You really are pathetic. If you cannot see behind that pride of yours, then you truly did not deserve that ranking or that level of yours. At this, the man goes ahead and yells at Bell with a battle cry, as he actually aims an attack, ready to actually like kill Bell in an instant. But suddenly, Bell will go ahead and actually push the man back as he grabs the man's wrist, snapping it in half, causing the man to scream out in agony. As Bell will go ahead and pull out his katana and stab the man right through the side of his stomach. At this, the man will actually cough up some blood, as the wound that Bell did, it wasn't strong enough. Like, it wasn't like, about to like instantly one-shot him, but it was enough to actually injure the man to the point where he won't be getting up. Speaking of said man, he was currently right now just like looking at Bell in shock, as he then says, how, he would say, as he was like coughing up blood. At this, Bell goes ahead and looks at him. He's like, I train harder than anyone else. I won't allow myself to be weak and pathetic. I won't. At this is when Bell goes ahead and remembers his grandfather and how he told him of heroes and how he died, not truly believing in them and not really even getting to see how he became one. As Bell goes ahead and speaks up, I won't allow something like that to ever happen again. I'll fulfill his wishes and my own. At this, the man didn't know what Bell was speaking of, but it was already too late as Bell goes ahead and actually knocks him out fully with a ginormous punch to the face, knocking the man out and breaking his nose. At this, everyone was like in shock now, as Bell would then turn to the other members. Who else wants some? He would say, as he's right now not playing anymore, as he goes ahead and unleashes a very powerful pressure onto the area, as he was covered in this purplish glow. Everyone was right now looking at Bell in shock and in fear, as they didn't know what the heck to do. Now, this is when the realization dawns on them. They can't do anything. Bell had taken on their strongest guy, wiped out nearly all of the Familia, and it's pretty much like a lot, giving them the opportunity right now. Like, that shows a lot. As suddenly, this is when Bell goes ahead and sees, as all of them that were determined to fight earlier, laughing at him, mocking him, were now there, like potatoes right now. Like, you know, similar to how Potato Kirito looked like. Yeah, that's how all of them are right now. As they had like this blank expression. So for those that are not really understanding what happened, Bell in just like in a single fight right now, Bell had wiped out their confidence, their will to fight. And he pretty much showed all of them that Bell truly was as strong as the rumors were. He truly was the White Fox. And he truly was, currently right now, proving to become actually one of the strongest people in the adventure history right now. This is when suddenly the announcer of the games would then announce, winner of the War Games, Hestia Familia, Bell Cornell, he would say. As everyone would then go ahead and cheer for Bell. As Bell goes ahead and looks down at all the fallen people that he had taken on, all the battle and everything. As for right now, we go ahead and cut to Apollo and Hestia, as Apollo was right now looking in pure terror, as Hestia was now looming over him. Hestia, please, let's talk about this. We can resolve something, right? At this, Hestia goes ahead and says, nope, I'll be taking that mansion, I'll be taking your fortune, I'll be taking everything, Apollo. Except for your Familia members, you can keep those. At this, Apollo goes ahead and looks at her as he then yells, no! As he couldn't believe just how low he had fallen. He couldn't believe how strong Bell was. He was strong enough to take on his entire Familia. The entire Familia. As right now, this was at the moment that he realized that Bell was a prize that he could not attain. And something that he will probably never attain. So we go ahead and now cut to the rest of them, as everyone else was just right now like in full relief and everything. As currently right now, a certain woman with blonde hair, as of course this was eyes, was smiling quite fondly, as she didn't like the idea of Bell going to the Apollo Familia. As well as also she's just happy to see Bell win. But another thing that also was something that she also wanted to know was the attack. That same attack that she saw so many times ago. It came back, and it looked like Bell had full mastery. He didn't even look tired when doing it. And she goes ahead and wonders, like, just how strong are you? And she couldn't believe how strong Bell was. However, right now, even though Hestia was celebrating her victory, there was something that needed to be taken care of. As finally, after the cheering, like everyone was cheering, this is when Hermes, as well as other gods, go ahead and get up. As all of them were right now thinking of the same thing, as they all had Hestia to interrogate and find out about a certain Bell Cornell and what he truly is. So with that, Hestia, as well as Apollo, as well as the other gods and goddesses, get up to get to their meeting, as this is something that's really important. As little did Bell know, he became the center of attention in a blink of an eye. But hey, what's new, right? So with that, we go ahead and now change scenes. As Bell had went ahead and pretty much he returned back home, of course, as him and his friends, like all his friends were there, like celebrating, as they were waiting for Bell to show up home, so that way they can go ahead and do a celebration party. However, the only one that was not there though was Hestia. As we go ahead and change scenes to a certain location. At this, all the gods and goddesses were right now complaining like, Hestia, what the heck were you thinking and everything, as Hestia was right now looking down. At this, Hermes was also looking at Hestia as he felt sorry for her, as this is when finally one of them would speak up. Alright, that's enough, all of you. Hestia, we need to talk about this seriously. What power was that? What even was that? The abilities that he demonstrates shouldn't even be possible for someone of this world, she would say. As at this, Hestia would actually look down as Apollo was watching all this with great amusement in the corner, as he was happy to see Hestia suffer because she has the prize that he can't have. At this, Hermes was actually looking at Hestia with a bit of upset, a bit of pity right now, as he felt bad for the girl. She didn't deserve this. As everyone was right now like screaming at her, this is when suddenly one of the gods actually announced like, what if she's actually using her godly power to boost him? As this causes all of them to actually like look at Hestia. Now that was something that none of the gods are allowed to do so. They can't use their abilities like that. And if they do so, they should be sent directly back to heaven to get like pretty much like they can only stay there now. At this, all of them were now looking at Hestia as this is when suddenly one of them would shout like, Hestia, it's not true, right? As like Hestia was right now looking at them like, no, I would never do that. No matter how much I care about Belle, I would never do that, okay? She would say. Although inside her mind, she's actually wondering, like, would she do that for Belle? I mean, who knows, really? But seriously, though, like, she really didn't know. At this, all the gods were still complaining until this one suddenly, of course, the goddess of beauty would go ahead and appear, and she tells all of them to simmer down. Of course, all the males instantly listen to her, as well as most of the females as well, considering the fact, like, come on now, she's pretty much alpha to them. And she goes ahead and walks up to Hestia. Well, I have to admit his abilities are quite shocking and could tip the balance of this world's nature, but then again, we shall do nothing of it. At this, total silence goes ahead and like looms over it until everyone bursts out screaming like, what? As this is when suddenly Loki would speak up like, come on now, are we really gonna let this big boobed lolly over here take control of something so powerful and abnormal? At this, Hestia goes ahead and levels her with the glare like, hey yo, shut the fuck up. Okay, she doesn't really say that, but like she still levels her with the glare. As everyone is just like also agreeing with her like, come on now, this is unfair and that they should get Belle or something like that. But this is when she goes ahead and speaks up. Well, then again, yes, although that power is abnormal, we still have to consider that Belle Cornell, as an individual himself, is still from this world. We can't do anything about it. Yes, his power may be overbalancing out the powers of this world, but then again, aren't we also? We are all gods in this world, and if we wanted to, each one of us could revoke our powers to go ahead and actually tip the balance of this world once again. At this, all of them go ahead and begrudgingly nod, but still it was unfair that Hestia gets to keep him, and some of them thought like, locking him up or preventing him from continuing. Others had, suggest that they keep him under his familia or their familia. However, this is where she once again speaks up. I will not allow none of that. Hestia, it's your choice, okay? As Hestia, hearing all this, will actually go ahead and turn to her until she goes ahead and actually tears up a little bit, nodding, as this is actually working out a lot better than expected. At this, Loki as well as Apollo were like, just gritting their teeth, just thinking how once again this stupid, pathetic like lolly over here got away with it. At this is when she goes ahead and actually begins to walk away, not before sending Loki and Apollo a smug grin, but this is when she actually goes ahead and actually again adopts a wordy expression. Although yes, the goddess of beauty was like nice to her and everything, it didn't happen quite often. In fact, most of the time when she ever had a conversation with her, it was mostly like just looking down upon her, just simple gestures. She can't help but have a bad feeling of her. Now, with that being said, we go ahead and now cut to Belle. He had arrived home after, a while, as he goes ahead and sees pretty much the celebration party. As everyone was like, there. We see Wealth, Lily, as well as his other friends that were in the tavern. As pretty much everyone was celebrating with Belle. At this, Belle was just, chuckling, and he then says, yep, I'm so getting used to this. As he goes ahead and actually parties with them, of course, getting, drinking, eating, and pretty much, like, having fun. Hestia was also there. She was mostly happy for Belle and thanking him for everything, which Belle would just shrug, saying, hey, I do what I do. Okay, he doesn't really say that, but he mostly says stuff like, similar to that, saying, don't worry about it, I would always be there to help you out. And she's smiling, really happy that she got someone in her familia like Belle. After the whole celebration and everything, Belle and Hestia, as well as Lily, considering the fact after the whole celebration, she actually joins the Hestia Familia. As right now, she was happy. They all go ahead and actually begin to go back to their small little home, packing up everything, as they were now moving to a new home, which was the Apollo Familia's mansion. As everyone was right now celebrating, this one Hestia actually stops. Oh wait, shoot, Belle, I forgot to say, I forgot to check up on your level. At this, Belle actually stops. He's like, oh yeah, you did forget. Oh well, I'll let you check it out, he would say. At this, she will nod as she actually goes ahead and, as Belle goes ahead and actually lifts up his shirt, pretty much, as Hestia would actually check out his level until she goes ahead and looks at him. Oh boy, why didn't I expect this? At this, she goes ahead and actually turns to Belle and says, congratulations, you leveled up again. Now at this, Belle just looks at her, he's like, oh, shoot. Now at this, on cue, Hestia would faint, as Lily is just squealing in happiness, of course, while Belle is just like, oh, I just got up another level. Okay, I'm okay with that. Because pretty much, even though, levels don't really matter to Belle anymore. Come on now. He's plenty of strong enough. As Belle would actually catch Hestia, he would eventually take her, as well as all the expensives and everything, towards the house, as they would actually all move in there. So I'm just going to do a time skip to I'm going to say a month. Okay, I'm going to do a month time skip, okay? Now, Belle, as well as the rest of the group, had settled into their new home. Mostly Hestia, who's currently making herself at home truly. She literally got the hot spring, all of it. She got the whole setup. As Hestia was right now living luxury right now. At this, Belle also went ahead and got multiple things. He got, once again, his own room. Didn't really had much in there. He had his own toilet this time. As Belle was actually, secretly very happy about that. As he also had a couple of other things. Now, also Lily got her own room as well, as pretty much all of them were now living their best lives right now. But right now, that was not the most important thing. The most important thing is that news of Belle and him beating in the entire Familia has spread far and wide, causing what now has occurred. As right now, standing outside of the mansion were multiple people outside ready to join the Familia, as they couldn't believe it. After seeing that amazing fight with Belle fighting against all of them and pretty much beating in the entire Familia, they now wanted to join the Hestia Familia and get on in the action. As they believed that the Hestia Familia is what made Belle, as powerful as he is. Some just wanted to get in there and, just pretty much become friends with Belle. It's that's pretty awesome. Some of them wanted to do other things with Belle, mostly the females, as also a couple other things. At this, Hestia, of course, was super happy about this, as luckily to her, she didn't have to pay any finances, because like I said, unlike in canon, where she had to get that ginormous fine and everything, this time she doesn't get that, considering the fact that now she has a bunch of money thanks to Belle doing the dungeon and everything. So yeah, she's good. Money is not a problem in this what if. Now, of course, Belle had no problem with this, of course, considering the fact he's okay with them going ahead and joining the Familia, as long as none of them piss him off, don't go ahead and start being disrespectful, are generally kind people. Pretty much as long as they're an okay person and just people in general, then Belle's okay with them. But if they're not, I'm sorry, but Belle's officially gonna kick your ass. I'm sorry about that. Now, just as they were now waiting for everything, this is when suddenly they will go ahead and actually see Welt, who actually went ahead and actually was part of the group. Well, I was actually coming here to ask you if I could join, but it looks like you already got quite a fan base. Huh? He would say as he goes ahead and looks at Belle. At this, Belle just shrugs. You always know that you're allowed to join the Familia. At this, Welt goes ahead and smiles. He's like, really? Wow, to think I got it from the famous rookie himself. At this, Belle eyes him with a glare don't call me that. As that's also another thing. Well is not going by multiple titles. They call him the Familia Slayer, the White Wolf. They call him by multiple titles by now that Belle is just confused by it. I mean, seriously, imagine trying to get into a dungeon and automatically you see a bunch of people run up to you and asking for your autograph. Hello? I'm not really that famous. So, with that, Belle goes ahead and just, getting upset about it. He just says, alright, so I guess I just have to tell Hestia that you're joining the Familia, I guess. As after he went ahead and told Hestia, she instantly allowed Wealth, as she actually was grateful considering the fact Wealth was the only person in the family who wasn't trying to seduce or trying to get with Belle. Which, by the way, yeah, like that's what Hestia thinks of Lily, which pretty much isn't very far away from the course actually. Now at this, Belle actually is happy to finally have another member in the Familia, as she truly believes that Hestia deserved it. As pretty much they all begin to like accept members into the Familia, not any that were really gonna be important. So yeah, that's actually something you should know. Like this is still gonna be like a Belle what if. We're not really gonna focus on any of the other Familia members. As eventually, after a while, the Hestia Familia had actually grown in size and truly began to blossom. So we now go ahead and cut back to Belle. He was happy that the Familia had once again grown, but that didn't stop him from his grind. At this, Belle had actually a bunch of people trying to talk to him and everything, but Belle mostly just ignored them for now. So he tells Hestia that like he's gonna continue on with his journey. At this, Hestia was at first afraid, like, you're leaving the Familia already? And like she was panicking and telling Belle that she'll get rid of the others, if, you know. But this is when Belle goes ahead and cuts her off. No, I'm saying like I'm gonna go ahead and go to the dungeon. Well, Lily, you're all with me. At this, they would instantly nod, as we still have the original trio with them. So at this, we go ahead and actually see Wealth and Lily and pretty much all of the group just leave, as they were now going ahead and continuing on their, journey. So at this, seeing them go, Hestia can only smile, as she can't help but smile at this. Her Familia was getting bigger, but in the end, the only true member of her Familia, the one that's been by her the entire time, will forever and will always be Belle. So with that, she goes ahead and smiles, as this is when suddenly all the members of the Familia ask, things and questions, which she would happily provide for them, as she was right now having the time of her life. So we go ahead and actually now cut back to a certain area in a certain district. We see a girl with, white, yellowish hair, green eyes, as well as 2 cat ears? Fox ears? Wait, what? At this when suddenly the girl would then turn around, and she would then sigh. I wish I could escape from this place, she hoped. As this when suddenly a guy would then walk in, he's like, I'm ready for my time. As the girl would then turn to him, only to faint instantly, right before the man even got started. Well, yeah, that was weird. As we go ahead and now cut to the end of this what if right now, okay? So this is going to be the end for this part. I'm sorry if you guys didn't like it very much. I'm sorry if you guys thought like, hey, yo, you made Belle way too OP. But then again, it's sort of hard. Like, if you guys really think about it, come on, guys. It's Yami here. Come on now. What did y'all expect when you saw Yami in the thumbnail? What did y'all expect, really? Did y'all expect, like, Belle was just going to be like, oh, like, he's going to be pretty strong, but not that strong. Like, come on now. Now, I did change things up because I wanted Belle to at least have a small bit of a challenge with the Familia. So I did make it to where, he can go ahead and, they set traps and everything. So I went ahead and did that. I also decided to add, the Familia, considering the fact that I decided that I plan to make the Black Bulls in the Hestia Familia. That's right. I'm going to make, the leaders, the fractions, and everything. But only with the people, I choose, really. So I'm going to go ahead and pretty much, I'm making, the Hestia Familia pretty much become, have matching night squads and everything. But, of course, I'm only going to make them have, the Black Bulls. Because, we got Belle up in here. So, yeah. I hope y'all did enjoy this what if. Hope y'all will continue enjoying it. Again, sorry if y'all didn't like it and everything. But again, hope y'all did enjoy. And either way, it is Great Zage. And I am out for the day. Peace.